Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode of me painting stuff. So let's see here. Let's just get right into it. So here's Nethyrmaul. This is a Reaper Bones miniature. It came in this box. That's not how I'm going to paint it. Retail, suggested retail is $39.99. I don't get paid for this placement, but there's actually all the pieces. So I went ahead and assembled it and primed it. Actually, I'm leaving the dragon and the base separate for now because there's no point in sticking them together. I don't like painting stuff that's not assembled because I mean to some extent, but the assembling process usually scares the hell out of me whenever I have painted stuff because I always think I'm going to rub paint away or something. So this model is big. I haven't painted a dragon this big in a long time. Probably since the 90s. Most likely. So this is a pretty large model. I'm hoping it's going to take me less than 10 hours, is my hope. Here's a miniature for scale. The very if my autofocus will work, this will be a fine episode. Here's my little buddy. It's a spider. I was gone for a week, so I in my studio here, my workbench is in my basement. So it seems like somebody moved in. There wasn't enough swishing going around. He might want to move out though, or die. Oh no! Save the spider! Come on, buddy. There you go. That's one for Animal Planet. I'll just put him up there. Poor guy. This whole world just fell apart. So we decided to paint this undead red dragon, basically. That's what we'll be painted as. Basically going to go with a red hog snake. Red hog-nosed snake for the pattern on the back. This is going to be a series of videos, so I think I'll start with just trying to get some color down, actually, and I'm not going to waste any time here. First thing I'm going to do is dry brush, pretty much anywhere where there's scales with this blood red. I'm going to use so very little of it on the brush. Usually I don't have this problem where I have all this room in between me and or in between the camera, myself, and the model. Oh, also, I won't be talking this entire time, so don't expect me to. Like, yeah, just talk straight for 10 hours to myself. I'll call it my therapy sessions. So anywhere where there's scales, I'm just going to start dry brushing red. I'm going to actually use I actually don't want to. I don't want to use very much. I think I might want to use a different brush also. One that's bigger. Basically, I'm going to use this dry brushed red as my shade color, you know. It doesn't go on very thick, so. It's important to dry brush this and not just load the thing with paint, because if you load the thing with paint, you're gonna cover up all those fine details. I say the same thing every time I do this. Not too much paint on the brush. Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty serious, but it's all about the amount of paint in your brush. I mean, you really can't screw one up. This will just end up taking a lot longer because it's big. So very big. So again, anywhere where there's scales, that's where I'm going to dry brush red. This is just the first layer of Mini, actually. We do multiple layerings to get the desired pattern effect. I'm not going to have to be, I don't have to be too careful also at this stage. If the camera will focus, you'll see that all those scales, right here, camera, see, there's something moving. Come on. Come on. There we go. All those scales are now just popping out. Painting a model like this in a very short amount of time is 90% dry brushing. You dry brush every layer, and the thing is you pick your layers smartly. But the last layer usually covers up the mistakes of the previous layer. And then, I mean, that's all she wrote, basically. All you need. That and love. Some dumb band, boy band. But the other thing is if you find that you have too much paint on the brush or one spot because it's a little bit more delicate, and then move over to another spot where it's important to have more paint on the brush. Like this leg, I can't screw up this leg. If I had a ton of paint on the brush, I could screw it up. But I mean, it's pretty much impossible. But up here, where like there seems to be some more delicate features, I wonder if this thing is the culprit. Sorry, I'm not watching the screen, so I'm sorry if it goes out of focus. I can't do anything about it. Some stupid autofocus. It's hard to man the station and paint this beast all at the same time. I'll try to keep this thing's focused. I think it's trying to focus on these paint bottles with the words on the paint bottles or something. Stupid autofocus. Let's do that. Huh? One moment. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Wow. It's better down here, I guess. Yeah, there we go. We'll try that for a while. Alrighty. So, sorry you have to watch my sausage fingers for the next 2 hours. I plan on doing these things in about 2-hour sessions, working on this guy. Like I said, I don't expect for it to take longer than 10. In all honesty, that's like a really conservative estimate. I could end up finishing this thing in 5 hours if I wanted. But seeing as I plan on selling it, I'm going to put the extra time into it, I think. And I could have this thing finished in that amount of time. I could probably have it finished in 2 hours if I wanted, but it's just not going to be very exciting looking. No patterns or anything. I don't know. I always made it my goal when I was painting to see how fast I could paint something and still keep the same amount of quality and not sacrifice the quality for speed. And it's actually made me a much better painter. A lot of this stuff would have been easier if it wasn't attached and assembled, glued in, like these legs and stuff. But it would have been, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I have a camera on my face, for Christ's sake. Sometimes you just gotta turn them in weird angles. So I'm often using the wings as holding the wings, or places that I haven't, or that I will basically paint last. Um, I can get a handle on this thing. While we're down here, we're going to go ahead and get these legs. Get exciting. This is exciting stuff, I know. I do want to keep this thing dark. I actually brighten it up quite a bit. This is actually going to be the darkest that it'll be. Really quite excited about the pattern of the red hog-nosed snake. I think it's just going to work out excellent. Just excellent. So a lot of the skin underneath, I'm going to end up doing a rusty brown color, and then highlight it up into a really kind of khaki leather. with then black corruption. I think it should be a nice, interesting transition. It also matters. I shouldn't say that all you got to do is have the right amount of um, paint. It also matters if you're going against the grain. Usually that's what I try to do. I try to go against the grain or with the grain, but never like perpendicular to it. I guess it would be parallel to the grain. Yeah, never parallel to the grain. And if you do that, you'll pretty much never fill in those crevices. Not very brushing. Anyway. So I know I'm sort of sporadically going around. I started over here. Went down, down, down. Went over here, went around this side. So I don't want to put a lot of effort into the tail quite yet. I see it's going to get knocked around a bit. And thus rubbed off. So that's another one of those things that I'm just going to wait until, I might do a bit of it here, but I'm going to wait until I get it up on the stand to do. And that's going to be more of a finishing stage. I'll go ahead and lay this down now. This upper tail part, so pretty safe. These spines I'll probably be doing as black. A lot of that I'm going to do as kind of a black ebony. That's about as far down as I can go with the tail. The remainder will be done as a finishing thing. We'll get up into the arms, because I won't be touching those very much, actually. So I know other people might paint very different from me. I'm sure most people paint very different from me, actually. But I don't care. Really, I don't. I found something that works for me, and I'm doing it this way. And if it works for me and produces halfway decent quality stuff, I might as well share that with other people. I'm going to be doing it anyways. Our society, our level of technology and sharing of information and social networking and all that stuff is the greatest revolution humans have ever devised. Unknowingly. It's also one of its biggest downfalls. I can't believe how well it's coming out. I just wish the autofocus would uh, figure it out. Hey, hey, buddy, I'm right here. Hey, hey, what a dummy. So, I mean, I can't do this in 3D really. Basically, it wants me to be. I don't know what it wants me to do. I guess I'm just gonna pull it out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that close, anyways. It's like, things aren't normally this close to the camera. Please pull away. I'm trying to get you guys the best look at what I'm doing. Trying. This ain't a bad angle. You get to see my palette over here. It's gonna be a very dirty palette. Lots of reds and oranges. It's gonna look like it's on fire. And a happy little scale there. See, we got one whole viewer. Yeah. Shout out to my loyal subjects. My monkeys. Thanks, monkeys. So if you haven't figured it out yet, I have an obsession with working grinders. Just a really interesting occupation. Be as annoying as possible until somebody pays you to go away. And you get monkeys, which, you know, hey, monkeys are awesome. Awesome. I mean, the base coat's just going down really quick. I'm pretty happy. You know, another thing is by assembling things, you sort of create natural shadows. You know, you pretty much know where you shouldn't be putting down a lot of effort. You know, we plan for those situations. Like I have, like first I primed it and then I assembled it. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me to have to sort of like give this thing an old reach around. You know what I mean? Roll right. It's already looking pretty sweet, actually. Getting there. And when you learn how to paint, speed paint, and you start doing it well, it's like instant gratification. And once you start doing it, it's the only way that you want to paint. It's like being able to, like, you know, if you're, I'm not a gambler, but the effects of gambling, for instance, you know, that get to rub off another ticket, rub off another ticket, rub off another ticket. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. That effect, just paint another miniature. See what this one looks like. See what this one looks like. You know? Paint another miniature. And then when your pocket goes ka-ching, you're like, yeah, let's paint 3 more miniatures. Ka-ching. My pocket does not go ka-ching very often, let me tell you. I will be using this model and the my other series, Archivo Deorum. They're basically happening upon um, a necromancer's domain. The necromancer is basically taking over an entire kingdom, and both its uh, both its beasts, natural beasts and whatnot, like this dragon, and even the king himself is controlled by a necromancer. He's now a dead king, but because I'm not going to do much with the wings right now, because I'm going to constantly be touching them, and I don't have to fix it every single time. We have some ideas for some strange things, like maybe adding guts in this area, in the chest cavity. Oh no. Okay, I pretty much hit all the scales that I wanted to hit. Oh, that's part of the tail. And the backside. And that wing. Really, at this stage, it's just so little paint on there. It's not. It's very easy to do this step. Just dry brush the whole thing. You just, when I brush, I do a lot of fast, you know. You have very little paint, and you sort of slowly build it up like this. It's almost like an airbrush, you know. And that's what a lot of the stuff that I do ends up looking airbrush when I'm not airbrushing. I'm basically using my hand as an airbrush, kind of. It's hard to screw it up when you're putting so little paint on at a time. This guy is going to look awesome. Nice. Go ahead and finish up this tail here. I'm expecting to at least get the pattern down on the back within the next 2 hours. And hopefully it'll take not that long. Excuse me. I mean to just cough in your ears or whatever you're listening to. Hopefully you're not like listening in through your butt or something like that. Don't put me down there, man. So, yeah, I've been gone for like over a week. They missed me. You missed seeing 4 figures in a day get painted. No. Well, the three people that are watching me. No, I'm sorry, the one person. went to upstate New York. I live in Ohio. And the plan was to go to her grandfather's cabin up in the Adirondacks. Um, which turned out, it wasn't really her grandfather's cabin. And people don't often use it. And her father was like, I don't know why you want to go up there. We're thinking, hey, free lodging in the Adirondacks. We can go fishing and, you know, I even brought my tent just in case. Uh, but when we got there was poison ivy everywhere. The outhouse, which I have no problem using an outhouse. I don't really care about that, you know. Uh, the outhouse was horrible. It looked like a shit bomb exploded in there or something. Excuse my language. It wasn't. It just looked like that. I'm guessing it was just like dirt or like stuff. I don't know what it was, but and it was like leaning over. I'm a big guy, and I pretty much thought that if I sat there, I would have went like crushed it. Then I would be sitting in a pile of broken wood and poop. 7-year-old poop. I wasn't down. So we get there. It takes 5 hours from. We drive 5 hours to New York, and then we drive another 5 hours to the Adirondack cabin, and we spend 20 minutes opening up the cabin, and 10 minutes opening up the cabin, and then another 10 minutes closing up the cabin, and then another 5 hours driving back. We were like, nope. Which is great because we ended up doing a barbecue at her father's house, which was totally awesome. Totally awesome. Barbecue. I always remember that Mr. Huxtable from the Cosby Show. The barbecue episode where all he wanted to do was have a barbecue, and every time like Bill Cosby would go barbecue, he'd get all excited. Oh, yeah, I don't know why I watched that when I was a kid. I just did. You know, yeah, who didn't? Who didn't watch that when they were a kid? It's not like we had a bunch of programming to choose from. 500 channels. But, nice. So, I mean, that base coat's essentially down for the scales. So let's take a look and see how we're going to do this. Let me pull this image up. It'd actually be easier if I just screen share. And one moment. Okay, here we go. Well, over here at the Reaper message board, this is usually where I post that I'm going to be doing this stuff. So here's my post. Oh, look how lovely it is. So that's when it's prime, right? Yeah, there's some lovely people actually taking part. So here's the Eastern hog-nosed snake. It's the pattern I'm essentially going to use. I would also thought doing the red tegu, which I guess is a tegu. I don't know. I like the pattern on it, but it wasn't bright enough for me. I especially like these lines right here. going down with that black right there. It's a really good contrast against this pattern. Uh, I don't think you're gonna have the option of integrating all that in there, especially since the model is decrepit, you know. So, so it's definitely going to be the Eastern hognose snake that I'm going to use for the pattern, which means that it looks like pretty much over the course over the whole thing, you have this lighter orange color going into this deeper orange color. Now what I'm going to do is have a slightly higher gradient. I'm going to go from that orange color to a red, a nice red, basically, is my plan. We'll go on and we'll add the black in next after that, and then go back in and add more red. So, I don't know, I just did that. Hopefully you saw that. I'm guessing you did. We'll just assume you did. All right. Let's see here. Get back to it. We need a red or orange. Orange. Orange, orange, orange. I got Phoenix Red. I got Fire Orange. I think Fire Orange might be the next candidate. It's not going to come out super bright. So here's a Fire Orange. It's actually a little bit more orange than that. Maybe. I don't know. The next down. I'm gonna shake this stuff up. Is Marigold Yellow. I don't think I want to go that far. No. Fire Orange is probably what it's going to end up being. I'm just going to put that down. Right next to all that red I just wasted. Just going to load up the brush, draw it out at the same time, draw it out. I'm basically just moving paint around until I get the right consistency that I want. I like to start out very light and then work my way in. The more I can add, the faster it'll be. So you can see. Let's pick a nice spot. Maybe along the tail here. It's hard to see because of the we go. That's a nice color gradient already starting there. Yeah, red dragons often have these little spine on them. At least and much of the artwork that I've looked at over the years, you know. Usually have a nice broad head, um, like this. Also, the thing is the other option is definitely a gold. Like, this head is actually not broad enough um, to be a red dragon. I think could be like female red dragon or male if if that's what maybe the females are the big ones. That's possible also. But whichever, it might be you know a different sexual like between the sexual differences or something. So you dry brush everything, you're not going to cover up any details. I often find it easier to paint big stuff than little stuff. This is, you can see my technique basically. Uh, it would always benefit from doing larger things, basically. So a lot of this I'm just going to go back and fix. That's the tail. Come on, stupid. It makes me mad sometimes. Pretty much have to be the only thing in view. Come on. Yeah, it's already out. Now remember, we're gonna after we put the black spots in, we're gonna come back and highlight red back into it again, and that's when I'm really gonna bring out the deep red color. Just want to make sure that I don't know. Let me get this back up for you guys. Sorry about that. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah, back in there. I mean, when the modeler takes this kind of time into making every one of these scales, they're doing all the work for you. As long as you don't put a bunch of paint on your brush, you're going to fill in all those details. You think that it'll take longer, but it ends up taking you even longer to fix up your mistakes or try to get those details back. So the top of the head I actually want to be pretty bright. get this crown real quick. Okay. A little bit on the cheeks there. Yeah. It's looking good. I have no idea how I'm going to integrate it in with the feet. Actually, I do know how. The same way that this plating is working on the head is how it works down on the legs. So most likely that's actually what I'm going to do. That plating is going to be a lighter color. Let me get the other side and I'll work on legs. Be careful you don't go on those details there. I mean, this whole model pretty much will paint itself. All I'm going to do is just say, I want a little bit of a color gradient right here. Alright, well that's just an extra layer. You know, think about your layers and you're good to go. So that where I got rid of some of the paint off the brush by going up here. This model is really big, so I hope I'm keeping it in view enough. It's hard to control. I can't watch the screen and paint at the same time. It makes it kind of hard. No. No, not with that. I'm gonna do wings. I think we're just gonna do lighten that up a little bit there. While it's out. I shouldn't have glued to the wings end, for sure. But the wings give me something to hold on to. I can't lose sight of that. You know. I'm trying to. Yeah, looking down, it looks pretty good actually. We can start seeing it's coming out. It's actually going to be brighter than this too. This is just sort of like the first base coat. I like to do a blend, right? I'm not highlighting right now. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to highlight. I'm trying to put down a first base coat. My first base coat just happens to be multiple colors, basically. Okay. As you can see, I mean, it's just a series of dry brushing techniques. You know, just dry brush technique. One technique over and over and over and over again. Wonder if my son heard himself upstairs. Ethan, you okay? Okay. Stop jumping around up there. Kids, and then he goes and does it more. Kids. Yeah, you just don't need very much paint at all. Okay. Just highlighting these. Well, not highlighting. I said that before. I'm not highlighting. A second of many layers to come. Layer, 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 layer. All layers. All layers. All the time. Okay, here we go. Nope. Yeah, I just love it when a plan comes together. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Very subtle. We're about an hour in currently. Currently about an hour in. Let's hit the feet. Now that we got the back done. And I promised not to do anything off camera. I like seeing how long it takes me. Anyways, using the program as a way of recording how long it takes me to paint these things. That spirit I painted in 34 minutes. Now I did go back and add more to it. But I think now I'm basically going to do a series of longer videos, and then I might do a touch-up video on each one. I think that might be a better way to go. Also, because who's got time to sit around and watch like hours and hours and hours of this stuff? Like I basically do this so people can see every step. It makes it easy. I don't have to pay to upload this. It's uploading right now. There's so many reasons why I should just live stream it, and possibly even cut it down later, which I still might do. You know, what you guys are getting is this is with raw footage, man. Raw footage for you, behind the scenes. Think of it like that. Behind the scenes, man. Behind the scenes, man. He's creepy. See, nobody's got to paint all those damn. That's kind of interesting here. These backlinks, the orange or the scale pattern goes all the way up the leg. I'm okay with that. It'll really break it up nicely. I mean, I like to take what the sculptor has done and accentuate it. They've chose that for a reason. I'm going to defer to their judgment, basically. Let me see what I've done here. I forgot to paint the foot red. Painting the foot to red. Painting the foot to red. Painting the foot to red. See, now that's a highlight. Okay. All right. There we go. Doesn't look like much right now, does it? just some orange and red. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. Now, the head is going to be a slightly different pattern. That's the way it is on the snake also. the hognose snag. So black. This black is running out of steam. So along the back, he basically had I think we're going to start it right in. I think we're going to start it right in this area, right in here. Just along this part, maybe. See where it goes. Nice. These are nice, but these are nice, thick. Right there. There. There'll be one right here. And the next one's going to come right here. And then no more room. That'll stay. That'll stay. We'll start it right here. Too big there. And then right here. I'm just putting the pattern straight on there. I'm not worrying about messing it up. There's nothing to mess up here, actually. Next one would go right here. Just trying to evenly space them. Near the end of the tail, I'm probably going to make it more of a ring around the tail, a black ring around the tail. Every other spine is getting this, basically. I'm going to start basically measuring this by every other spine. So this one will put that. Yeah. At this point, I can just. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right. So that's the black stripe down the. Starting to really look good. That was just on the one side there. Okay, so I gotta do this side. Right there. Okay. On this side, it'll be right here. Where's the next one? This one is actually really close. Sorry, you can't see any of this. The next one was right here. Just making sure that these black spots are lining up. There we go. Is that one of them? Come on now. Let's figure out how to put this damn thing on here. We're already. I know it looks like crap right now. I swear to God, it'll look really good eventually. Look at that. Okay, let's go get our secondary black lines in. And those are in between. And they come from the chest. I'm not trying to clean things up here. I'm just trying to put down these black stripes. The next one would have been right here. The next one on this side, let's just go ahead and just do the fronts. On this side, the next one would have been right here. And right here. I hope that a lot of this isn't wasted detailing. You know, sometimes I don't want the eye to get too confused as to what is rotting flesh and what is dark space also, you know. It seems like that now, but that's only because everything is so dark. This is actually going to lighten up very much. Very much. So none there, a little bit there. I don't want to get too much into this, actually, on the tail side, because I want this to actually, on the tail, I want it to basically start to become rings at some point. That's what I would like. Yes, thank you, please. Okay. It's actually starting to look very lizardy. Very lizardy. Okay, so let's, how are we going to do the scales on the head? Let's go back and look at that hognose snake for a second. Okay. Let me get out. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Woo. So here we are at this stage. It's already looking very lizardy. The head is basically missing some detailing. Now I know there's black along this part, actually. Sorry. On the head. Yeah, look at that. There's black along the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Which also will look absolutely sweet, I guess. Turns out. Totally awesome. Let's hit the other side. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the eyeball and that stuff anyways. And I got dry brush with red, so that's my next step there anyways. Do that. Oops, sorry. And there we go. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, so wow, that is looking really good. Really, 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 really good. That's going to be bone right there. So there's the tail. You can hopefully it'll put her in focus. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see. It's looking really good. There's still much more to do too. I like to actually paint a red dragon using the same technique. And actually, I often do that kind of stuff where I paint the want consistency. What are you doing there, kid? You know you're live on YouTube? He doesn't care. He probably thinks it's cool. Cool! Yeah. So let's take a look at that rascal. First off, take a moment, take a look at the head. Yeah. Come on. Here. Here. It wants to put my hand in focus for some reason. Anyways, so there. Okay, so take a good look at the head. These plates right here along the neck, and then going up into the head and on the top. That's essentially what I'm looking for on the hognose. Eastern hog-nosed snake. I'll also be taking a picture of this and uploading it to, various social networks to sort of show the first stage. So, okay, I guess you can look with me. So here we are. What's that look like on his head? It's sort of like a... Well, that black stripe through the eye actually is really cool looking. And then you have like basically a splotch on the top, a Rorschach blotch, blitch. Listen here, blitch. Goes on the top, basically. And that breaks down into it. So I guess it's safe that... Okay, I can do that. We can do this. We got this. We got this. All right. It's right on the top of the head. Once it figures out that what I'm supposed to be looking at right here, or what you're supposed to be looking at right here, like, really? Maybe I should have like a white background on this guy. Hey, maybe that'll help. Like, stop focusing on the grid. Start focusing on some sharp lines right here. Come on. I swear. It'll figure it out. Okay, so we want... I like this right here. Again, I'm going to use the model to define the space. I know I want some blotch up here. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to ask the model first. So there's some dragon plate up there, dragon scales, that seem to create that space for me. I'm going to go ahead and just let the model paint itself. There we go. Alright. We got a little black thing on the top there. And then along the sides here, I kind of like these a little bit though. I kind of want to put, I kind of want to make this one black. Which doesn't bother me one bit. It'll help hide the fact that this part was glued to this part on that line right there. So the fact that that's black there is not going to hurt anything, especially since it fits in the pattern. Nice, nice, nice. About an hour and a half in, or less, I don't know. And this thing is already looking really, really good. I'm probably going to go on and add some speckles and stuff, but I want to hit that with some more color first before getting too crazy. I'm just going to let that be like that. I think that's interesting looking, so I'm going to let it be like that. And I don't know. This one can be black also. There we go. Well, it might not look exactly like the hognose snake, but neither does this. This is an hour and a half into painting this model. Really looking awesome. Really excited about it. You do not have to sacrifice quality for speed. So now what I'm going to do is use some of this paint that I wasted earlier and highlight in the red. Yeah, even redder there. Good, nice. And that creeps into the black a bit. Again, creeping into the black. There. And right here. there. Not too much, not too much. Not right there. And not more red. So basically, any of the black splotches that run along the spine, I kind of want to bring some red into it. If you look back at the hognose snake image, next time I bring it up, you'll see like the red sort of moves up into that black splotchy. Let me just bring it up. That'll be easier. So right here, this red, as it moves up into the spine blotchiness, you see it sort of mixes right there. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to mimic that. So I'm just taking the red, moving it right up in. At the same time, I'm highlighting, or attempting to. So you got the proper amount. Actually, I want to just start highlighting this down a lot more. This is all going to be ringed, remember. 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 The 14th of October. Yeah, I did it. If you think this, if you're into gaming and you're like, holy crap, I can't believe how fast I painted this thing, and it doesn't look like crap. If you're at all impressed, share it with a friend, please. This is a hobby of mine, and I'm not trying to make it into a job, but you know what? If you guys make it into a job, I'm happy to do it. Happy, 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 happy. A little bit more red there. Good. Now for this side, again, we're gonna try to accomplish the same thing. About, actually, there's not that much on there. Got about another 20 minutes programming here. So what I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to start cleaning up around the scales with some black, basically. Oh, and highlighting. I got to highlight the spine again. Because I'm not putting too much effort in the wings, so don't get too excited about that yet. Doing the wings will end up being a whole video by itself. Guaranteed. in which I will most likely go over everything that I'm doing right now to them. Most likely. Anywhere where I need more red, or where I think I need more red, I'm throwing it down. Very good this side. Pouring like a complete weirdo instead of pouring it normally, which would be okay. Okay. It's just easier just to dry brush everything and then go back and line it with some black. It'll fix itself then. I mean, that's the modus operandi. You know what I mean? Bird. That guy did. All right. She's looking beautiful. Beautiful. Again, saving the tail for later. What did I say I was going to do? Oh, yeah. Highlight. Highlight. So much down on it now. So I got to think about the eyes also. I want them really pale, like zombie eyes, you know? I want to go with here. Okay. Basically highlighting with the same color. This is still fire red, I believe. Yeah. Fire orange. Fire orange. Okay. Looks nice. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I want to highlight this. I gotta do right here, right here. So there's nothing to put down really. Or just a little bit. Not much there though. Just something. Right here. Right here. Obviously down there. Alright. Go. So I'm just highlighting right here. So far I've used 3 colors on this. Black, blood red, and fire orange. And there's just a lot of color play going on in there already. So what I want the tail to do is eventually I want it to sort of stripen up, basically. Which means that I'm going to draw the fire orange down more and more every time. A little bit more. So this. And then the next one is right here. Until it's basically clearly striped. Basically. Again, highlighting on the side, drawing it down more and more. And more. And the brush. Be careful here. Don't need that much more paint on the brush. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is, just to wrap things up here, I'm going to do the most boring business. Very important. Let's take a look at this. That's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm going to go in and clean it up. I'm actually going to wet down this black a little bit so it flows a little easier. I usually just take a drop on my brush and then add it to the palette, and then it's usually good to go. A lot of this is just all of this is flesh, basically. So I'm basically going through and I'm lining the whole dang thing. Anywhere where there's not a scale, I'm going to throw down some black, basically. I think my black gets a little too thin. There we go. Those bubbles. Okay. That will definitely do. Right there. Hopefully. It'll turn me into a lion. I'm actually just trying to line the scales here. Easy enough to do. I'm using their contour to help me also. Nice. Very simple. I want to get up in here. I don't have to. Nice. Okay. That thing out of the way. Mm-hmm. I'm basically prepping the next step. That's what I'm doing. It's nice and clean looking. Ready for the next step. Nice. If I could whistle, I'd be whistling non-stop. So, I met somebody who hated whistling. I mean, how could you hate whistling? I'm a fan because I can't do it. Some old folks that just are amazing whistlers. I just wish I could do it. My son's going to be a good whistler, but he's missing his two front teeth, so I don't want to count my chickens, I mean? Again, I don't want to get too much in the wings here because I don't want to. I really hate doing the wings. These need a little bit of help there, standing out. That's all I'm doing. Give them a little bit of help. For a lot of that up there, I'm going to basically do a dark wash. I don't like calling it a wash because dark washing is not the smartest thing you can do all the time. But if you pick and choose where you're doing it, that's a whole other situation. That looks good. Looks good. Down through here. I'll most likely do the underskin next. That's the rusty brown, moving up to a leather khaki color. And then with a bit of corruption, blackish, corrupted skin, putrid skin, rotted skin, or whatever on the end of it. Oh, this is actually, there we go. I'm sorry if you can't see this exactly. I'm trying here. Easy enough. Just looking really good, huh, guys? Really good. I'm happy so far. No complaints. Um, After the underskin, I will be doing the bones most likely. Just doing some reading around, I saw that there's actual speed painting contests at some conventions and stuff. Would definitely like to get into that. Um, if I spent 40 hours on this, most people might. I'm sure it would look phenomenal. But be able to spend 2 hours and just get to this level of detail already is, I think, something to say about that. Don't blink, because before you know it, this thing's going to be done. Starting to run out of stuff to line. Not really. It's always something else. Maybe not. Oh yeah, right up here. Looking good there. Along the back. Like that. Right in there. 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 And there. And there. Hey, I'm actually here entertaining myself. You guys are just along for the ride, so just deal with it, okay? Just deal with it. Believe it or not. Okay, we're almost done here for this video. No sense in start rushing right now. Actually, I don't even want to do the wings yet. Just a little bit, actually. Okay. And here we go. I think she's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Let's figure out how to do this real quick. Come on. Come on, stupido. Don't worry about none of this other stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's looking fantastic. Right? Yeah, my workspace is horrible. Just deal with it. All right. I think it's a very good start. Very good start. Thanks for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Part 2 will probably come up either tonight or tomorrow. In that part, I'm going to be working on the rotted flesh. Makes me so warm inside. All right, bye.